Hello, welcome back to my greenhouse. Yeah, we're not in the garden at the moment. We will be in a few moments, but right now we're in the greenhouse, mainly because there's somebody next door mowing the lawn. And I mean, look at this. This is crazy. Oh, it's a good thing I didn't do big, large, full trays because I'd never have any place to put them. I have foxgloves primarily over here. There are a few other plants dabbled around here. There's, oh geez, zinnias over here, and onions and marigolds, and the salvias, and there's just so many things that I'm growing right now. It always amazes me at this time of year. You know, you go through the motions of putting the seed in the pot or the tray, whatever it is, and you water it and you tend to it, and then it starts to grow, and you're like, okay, it's growing and I'm watering it and life is good. But sometimes you have to take a step back when you have something like this, or even if you have like a seed starting station and you have shelves and shelves and shelves of stuff that's growing that you started. It's amazing. This Dalmatian foxglove, this was like a speck of nothing. And from that, and it's going to get much, much, much bigger, as with many of these other plants will. It always amazes me. Today we're going to be planting something new, but before we do that, I'm going to plant something that I planted last year as something new. Now, I'm not trying to plant something new every year, although I am always interested in planting something new. When I started gardening, I didn't want to just garden just vegetables, or I didn't want to grow just flowers. I wanted to grow everything I possibly can. I want to try to grow the maximum amount of different plants that I possibly can from now until the day that I become compost. Whether it be agapanthus or foxgloves or dahlias or basil, various different types of basils or radishes or beans or oranges or lemons, or it doesn't matter. I want to try to grow again as much as I possibly can. If you watched my prior video, I just recently planted 3 Jane magnolias. This is all new to me, and that's one of the things I like most about gardening. Is I really just want to grow as much as I possibly can. So last year I grew something that was new to me, which was dark opal basil. And if you've never seen dark opal basil before, I've mentioned this a couple of times before. I might have mentioned in the prior sowing video. It's a basil, but it's dark colored. It's a purplish color, has the nice purplish flowers, and I let it bolt. So this way I can get those flowers. And the bees love the flowers. They're just all over the plants during the summertime, which is fabulous. And it's just an interesting looking plant. I plant it out in front of the house. I don't keep it here in the veg garden as you would with many herbs. So I'm going to sow some dark opal basil now for this year. It says you're supposed to start 4 to 6 weeks before our last frost. My last frost technically is in a couple of weeks, April 1st. I have so many things that will be going out that if these aren't ready to be planted out until, let's say, early May or mid-May, I'm okay with that. Let me just go ahead and plant these up real quick. All I'm doing is using a little tray. I don't want a lot of them. I'll probably only keep maybe 6 to 8 of them. Where I plan on putting them, there's only about that much space. You know what? Let me bring you guys in close. Many of you experienced gardeners are all very familiar with this process. There's a couple of you that are new out there that are, again, interested in gardening or just starting to garden. Read the instructions on the pack. Basically says plant about 1/8 of an inch deep. And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to sprinkle them in. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of potting soil mix on top, and then I'll water. Give it a good soak. And label. There. Stick that there. There we go. And then I'll find a spot somewhere on the bench. What's the new thing I'm planting this year? Turmeric. We're doing turmeric. I've never grown turmeric before. I have done a little bit of homework on this. It is a tropical plant. I haven't even opened the bag. I'm opening the bag now, first time. It's a tropical plant, but it can survive in the ground here in growing zone 8A. And again, just opening this for the first time. So I've only seen pictures on the interwebs, but this is what they've given me. I have a bunch of these, and what it is just a tuberous root, let's call it. These actually look good. They're solid. They look pretty good. And I have a bunch of them in here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you where we're going to plant them in the garden, because we're not going to be planting them here in the greenhouse. Here we are outside now, obviously, and right underneath you guys where the camera is, there's a round bed. There's this round bed. This bed here is going to be for the gladiolus that I'm going to be starting from seed this year, or I'm going to try to start from seed. That's a whole nother project we're going to do a whole nother video on. But this bed, I've topped off this morning with some extra compost that I had and plant the turmeric into here. If you've ever grown turmeric before, please leave a comment below. I have to do some more homework on this, but the main part, or the main focus of the plant itself, is these little rhizomes, root tubers, whatever they are. And these get planted down 4 to 6 inches. They'll be ready to harvest in 8 months. So early November, allegedly. You know what? Let's dump out the bag so I can actually count how many we have. This is kind of exciting. Again, if you guys have grown turmeric before, let me know in the comments. So we got 1, 2, 3. That might be 4. Looks a little ratty. 5, 6. That's definitely rotten. 7, 8, possibly 9, 10. Okay, 10. So let's say we've got 10 pieces. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some around the outside and then some around the inside. So I am just going to give them quite a bit of space, or as much space as I can in between. Now, my inexperience, I really didn't see any. I saw what looked like maybe eyes on them, sort of like a potato, where a potato has eyes. So I kind of saw what looked like eyes, and that's what I tried to plant facing upwards. But if they grow like many other plants do, even if I planted them theoretically upside down, they will turn around and push the thing back up, theoretically. We'll find out. Again, I've never grown these before, but if you've grown turmeric before, let me know in those comments below. We'll see what happens. Hopefully there's growth. End of April, May, I should start seeing a little growth. Once the soil gets really warm enough, I think. Right now the soil is probably still a little too cold. And of course, don't forget to label. This way you remember what you have growing here, although it'd become pretty obvious once all this starts coming up that what I had planted here. Now last year I had, I believe, basil planted here. My basil will be going out with my tomato, which will be going out into the in-ground beds. Yeah, that's right, I'm gonna grow tomatoes actually in the ground instead of the raised beds, and I'll talk more about that when I go ahead and do that. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, click that bell icon to be notified of when I do post up a new video. Sophie here would much appreciate it, wouldn't you, Sophie? It's a little windy today too. If you haven't checked out all the links below, please check out all the links below. Follow me, give me a follow over on Instagram. I often post pictures there that you won't see here on YouTube. And if you haven't visited the YouTube community page, please go over and visit the YouTube community page. I do polls and quizzes every couple of days, and got some good stuff up there. And apparently, at least some people think it is. That's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.